So the only name that I would throw out, because I have seen people mention this, would be Jamahl Mosley, who's already on the Mavericks staff.
Yeah.
He's been with them since 2014. He's been their defensive coordinator since 2018.
The one game that Rick was out, he was the coach.
He was the head coach, and
night.
Luka, after that game, really praised him and was talking about how, he's got some of the things you want in a head coach. So, like, for Mark Cuban right now, we'll see what happens with Bob Gambler, Bob. But now, without your head coach that you've had and without your general manager that you've had, there's one thing in the entire universe of the Mavericks that matters, and that's make Luka happy.
Yeah.
And if there is a guy in-house that can work with Mark and potentially Bob and be open to their ideas that Luka likes and trusts, done.
Yeah.
It's about it. It's a players' league. I like having a good coach. But Rick Carlisle can coach as good as he wants to. If you ran into the Nets with their 3 superstars, they're going to kick your butt because the players are better. Keep your best player happy. So I'll throw out the name Jamahl Mosley because I know Luka likes him.
And if Luka's not happy with moving on from Donnie, maybe that is your first move. Give that guy a shot. They are hiring a search firm, right? And if they wanted to go there immediately, maybe they just want to see who else is out there and see how they compare to Mosley. But that would make a lot of sense if you ask me. Other candidates do include former Mavs like Jason Kidd. I would be shocked if that happens. Remember post-championship, Kidd was like, I'm going to resign. Next thing you know, he's going to Brooklyn. And I do believe Mark, in his anger rage, with his immediate reaction to that story, said something to the effect of Jason Kidd's number 5 will never hang in the rafters.
How cool would it be, though, because Jason Kidd could come in and he'd just walk right up to Luke and be like, I know, bro. That Carlisle, what a whipping, right?
Yeah.
He was tough. Now, me and you, let's talk about playing free and easy and dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against Jason Kidd. He's an experienced head coach already. He's been a very, very good assistant, point guard mentality. Dirk Nowitzki just isn't going to happen. Every time we talk about this, I'd say 1 out of every 10 texts coming in.
Because you just want Dirk around. People love Dirk. You want him to be around, and you'd feel better when there's some Dirk.
Yeah, I would love to have a Dirk involved in a meaningful way. Just seeing him at the building is a lot of fun.
He just retired. That's a grind, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want that.
He doesn't want to do that anymore. You can see how the dude is moving around. He's got a different energy.
Now, maybe if you really want to dictate everything that the coach does, he'd be up for being the home coach.
I just wanted to come up there and just sit there and tell people when to come in and out. And
coach
you're going to tell
Zoom?
me? Yeah.
On away games?
Yeah. But you got a lot of experience there during the bubble doing Zoom stuff in the arena.
You just want me to fist bump Luka during timeouts and tell people when to sub in? Done.
Give a good clap?
Yeah.
Call timeouts.
Luka, you're not doing so good this game. All right.
940. What about Dirk as the GM? See, there can Dirk coach 512.
I don't think that Dirk is doing the work you think Dirk is doing to be an NBA GM.
I mean, really, his entire life was basketball and tennis. He doesn't have this work ethic to go prove himself in the corporate world or to dominate an organization or to put even as a player, he's like, no, I really don't want to recruit. It's up to them to make their decisions. Being an organizational leader requires, I don't know if gumption is the right word, but the desire to put yourself in those situations. He's like a passionate artist. That's what Dirk is. And for a long time, his canvas was the basketball court. And now he even said it when he retired. He's waiting to find what his next passion is. Maybe it's philanthropy. Maybe it is music, but that's the next sort of thing you're going to see Dirk doing. It'll be something where he can pursue a passion instead of, work with others to build an organization and a culture. That's type A personality type of stuff. And Dirk's just not that dude. How about Chauncey Billups? There's a guy who's getting a lot of attention. Chauncey Billups, a championship-winning point guard himself, and I believe currently an assistant with the Clippers, and is one of the names that's being bandied about for a number of openings. So he is one of the top candidates. How about the idea of Becky Hammon, the Spurs assistant, the gal? There's 2 other women who are, in or in the news cycle as far as being candidates for other jobs. So I don't think we're that far down the road from having a woman head coach at some team. I don't know. I guess it would surprise me a little bit if the Mavs decided to go in that direction, but you can't rule it out.
Yeah, I saw where Portland was even talking about her, and I believe it's Dawn Staley, who's at South Carolina. as a possibility of a name to talk to.
3-time Olympic medalist right there,
Yeah.
Don Staley. Put some respect.
Yeah.
I hate that my brain goes this direction when you name like Becky Hammon or Don Staley.
Mhm.
But I've watched the Mavericks long enough that we know that in the second round of a draft, Mark Cuban picked Satnam Singh to market.
Mhm.
And we know that in the second round of a draft, he drafted a guy with the last name Antetokounmpo, just in case Giannis might want to come play with him one day. So he will prioritize things other than finding good players or winning. For
Going to be
the
a
purpose-
trailblazer here. I mean,
Yeah.
going to be the guy that's going to, like you said, Jeff. He knows more than everybody else.
Yeah, for a guy who right now is going to be catching a
Yeah.
lot of hell PR-wise.
Absolutely.
And, like, I don't want it to sound like I'm saying that either of those ladies don't deserve the job. I'd love to see
Absolutely.
NBA female head coaches if they're capable of doing the coaching, which I believe they both are.
They can coach. Yeah.
But I could see Mark Cuban being one of the owners who would be like, guys, this is the best person for the job, and then turn around to the marketing guy and be like, and it gets me out of hot water.
Yeah, I mean, it would be definitely a good brand move. Teresa Weatherspoon is the other female candidate for these head coaching jobs. She is currently a member of Stan Van Gundy's coaching staff there with the New Orleans Pelicans. And she was a head coach at Louisiana Tech. That would be surprising, though. Sam Cassell, the former Rockets point guard, NBA champion, he's been an assistant head coach for a number of years. As far as guys with skins on the wall, you do have Terry Stotts, recently fired by the Trailblazers, who was an assistant for Rick Carlisle on the championship-winning team. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is, a guy that gets heavy consideration. Who knows
how is
if
his
he has-
relationship with Lillard? That's another guard, right? How would we
There was-
characterize that?
There was never any reports that Lillard didn't like playing for him. I think it was more front office disappointment.
Sure.
Not players, having tension with the head coach. We don't know how he gets along with Mark Cuban, and we don't know if he would have loyalty to Donnie Nelson or Rick Carlisle. Would Terry Stotts really consider being the guy that replaces Rick? I don't know.
Well, Terry Stotts is going to know everything about it. He's going to talk to Carlisle and say,
Yeah.
Rick, what happened there?
I don't think you want any of that potential poison.
Yeah.
I think Mark would look at it as poison. I think that's what he's trying to cut out.
I think, again, that's why I just think they're going to try and create a whole new look.
Yeah.
And, like I say, I think Finley's got a shot at this GM job. And I think Mosley is going to be his head coach, and Bob is probably going to get a contract extension this summer. And he's going to be, it's going to be status quo. Let's just keep playing.
Okay, now here's the guy I think it's going to be if there's skins on the wall involved, and we're getting texts already with people, saying his name. Some of you don't like the idea, but Mike D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less with the Phoenix Suns, made the most with Steve Nash, who Luke has been compared to a taller Steve Nash. I think it was Donnie Nelson who said that. He was just with the Houston Rockets up until the end of 2020, a two-time NBA Coach of the Year, a two-time NBA All-Star head coach. And that Houston Rockets offense around James Harden is what analytically Bob and Mark are probably pursuing, right? We're going to shoot threes, we're going to get a bunch of shots up, and we're going to overwhelm you with a high-usage, high-scoring guard in James Harden. That's the model right there. And they damn near rode that with Chris Paul and P.J. Tucker through the Golden State Warriors. They had him beat 3-2 until Chris Paul's hammy or groin. So I think Mike D'Antoni makes a lot of sense, and he might be the kind of guy that's like, yeah, I'm really experienced. I've been there. I'm gonna be a playoff experienced head coach, and I love what Bob's saying here. Let's give the ball to Luka, and then everybody shoot threes and play defense.
I could see it, and I don't know. I guess I wouldn't hate it if you think that has a chance to work. Just every time we try to go down, would you say nobody's won that way, or would you say that Golden State kind of did? I guess Golden State cared about defense, though. You had Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. Like, you were locking dudes down. It wasn't just let's go.
Yeah,
run down.
They had
the
like
floor,
top three
throw it
defense too.
Yeah,
it's really tough. It does come down to the individual players, right? And that's what I hope Bob and Mark understand. You can't hack it. You can't say, well, we got this trait and this trait, so we're going to beat the better players. No, you're not. Not in basketball. There's only 5 players on the court, And the best ones in the league are completely going to make up for every shortcoming of their teammates. So it really doesn't matter. You need to get those guys. But somebody just as good as what Chris Paul was, a probably all-star, but not clearly a dominant all-star when he was with Houston, that would be good enough. You got to find the PJ Tucker, the Draymond Green, and then a wing player who can not only defend, make threes, but also be a little bit of a playmaker like Klay Thompson was, a college point guard himself. And probably if he wasn't on the Warriors, a point guard with most NBA teams, at least in this era.